welcome, Karuna.
Thank you so much for having me.
I thought it was a good opportunity to catch up with you because it's been a while. I know we spoke about this earlier, but the last time we saw each other was at a concert.
Yeah.
Which was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Who was singing at the concert? Do you remember?
John Rye and the band.
So good.
And Shock Meal. And we had a few other Yoda and other performers.
It was phenomenal. And I was saying earlier, like Nepalese people know how to party.
They do.
They do.
Yeah. Oh my God, I'm gonna cry.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Thank you.
Karuna, there you go, my love.
Thank you so much. Oh my God, this is so sweet.
Don't smell it though.
Oh my God.
But you can pretend to smell it.
Oh my God.
It doesn't smell amazing.
Sorry, I'm literally gobsmacked right now. This is so special.
But it is Valentine's Day.
It is. I've never really gotten to experience what actual Valentine's Day means.
I feel like it's just commercialized.
Yeah, cheers. Thanks, Ash.
Our local area, we have a lot of Nepalese people who bring so much like diversity to the area, business, culture. And I think that's how I connected with you through a lot of like council events as well.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about your background, like your story.
Definitely, there's a big community around Barton, and this area has like huge Nepali population. So talking about myself, I was born and raised in Nepal until I was 17. Okay. So I moved to Australia after turning, 17, 18. I had my mum's side of family here. So that made my whole life easier. Otherwise, I wouldn't have that confidence to actually, move abroad. But because of them being here, it was so much easier for me.
You came to Sydney and you've got some family here. What was that experience like? Moving from Nepal to Sydney, what was that like for you? Was it scary? Was it just exciting?
So for me, it was a very special moment because I was like meeting up with my uncle, auntie, and I was moving to Australia with my cousin. So it was like exciting chapter for me, and I felt like, oh, I know it's very sad to leave my parents, family, friends, my whole country behind. But then again, I was stepping into this big adventure of my life where I'll be exploring so much of opportunities and the dreams that I've created for myself. So I was more excited. A little bit of, the scary feeling was obviously there. But I was also 17, like I didn't overthink much at that time. Now when I look back, I'm like, oh my God, how did I do all of that?
What did you end up studying? Because I know you're a nurse. So was that something that you studied after when you came to Sydney?
So my entire plan was, because I am a community person, I love giving back to community. And ever since I'd moved to Australia, I've always been active in Nepali community, Australian community. I've been attending events, be it at university or external. I'm always like super active. But for me, when I moved here, nursing, I decided to do nursing, but I wasn't too sure if I would like nursing. But I had conversation with my mum that I don't know if I want to do nursing. But then she was like, it's also so hands-on. So go do placement and see how you feel about it. So I started loving it because, like I said, I had a conversation with my mum and she was like, oh, check out placement and see how you feel. And that's when I realized that I was actually meant to do nursing because I had so much empathy and that love to offer. And then I started nursing and I loved it, and not knowing where I would end up, I started mental health nursing, to be precise.
What made you feel like going down that sort of avenue?
I've had a bit of challenges when I was first starting my career because I graduated in 2020, 2021-ish when COVID hit.
You went to Western Sydney.
I did. And it was like one of the most challenging era, like when COVID hit. So it was very hard to get job offers and it was so challenging. But I initially started at aged care. So I did about 8-9 months there, and then which was a bit of learning experience, but I didn't enjoy it that much.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the role particularly, but then the demands of workplace was too much and too daunting for me.
Yeah.
And then I was applying for jobs and I saw a position for mental health nurses.
Yeah.
And I hadn't worked, obviously, as a mental health nurse before.
Yeah.
I'd done placements as a student. So I walked in and I did my interview, I aced it, and I was hired right away.
Yeah.
And then after that, I continued mental health nursing for a while, and I started having a very soft corner for mental health overall.
Yeah.
And then now it's been over 4 years that I've been doing mental health nursing, and actually I'm currently studying masters in mental health nursing.
Yeah.
Because I want to do something in this area, and just to build that credential and credibility. So I'm like working towards that as well.
That's amazing. How far are you in your masters now?
I just started. Yeah, our first trimester. I know, sir.
So the other thing that people know you about is being Miss Nepal.
Yeah.
You're a nurse
Yeah.
and also Miss Nepal. Like, how?
Okay, long story short, I was always, as a child, it was my dream to become Miss Nepal.
Oh, amazing.
Right?
Yeah.
And life happened. I moved to Australia. I was at one of the most comfortable stages of my life because I was a nurse. I was working so hard, saving up money for like Euro trip, you know, for first property.
So
everything was like, I was very comfortable, to be precise. And then I had a chat to one of my colleagues, and he told me that, Karuna, you need to decide, because I'd always told people that how passionate I was and one day I'll go for Miss Nepal.
Yeah.
But then I think there was a push lacking in me because of the comfort.
Yeah.
Because everything was so good. Life in Australia was amazing.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, I'll have to go back and do, you know, start everything from scratch. And it's going to be daunting. And I don't have any family, friends in media industry back home. So it was a bit nerve-wracking when I thought about it. But then when that colleague said that you can do that later on in your life, but within with this Miss Nepal thing, you have a criteria and age limit, you know, and what is stopping you, Karuna? Like literally what is? And I realized actually there wasn't anything that was stopping me but myself. And then I realized that particular day when we were engaging, in my heart, I'd already known that I'm going to go. And I came back home. I was living with my sister at that time. I told her, I'm going to Nepal for Miss Nepal. I'm quitting nursing.
What was that process like for you?
Look, Ash, it was a very daunting process because I was in Australia and I had to email them back and forth because I needed like time. I needed to know whether like my application will be selected or not, or what am I supposed to do. So I was like chasing them from 2023 October, to be honest, and I worked on my application. So I had to like send through my photos, my profile and everything. And then after that I went there. I had to go for like physical audition. I know, not knowing the fact that I would make it or not. I'll answer.
So this is how I eat my rice, right?
Yeah.
Because I don't know how to use a chopstick, but I just shovel it.
Sure, yeah. Multiculturalism is like such a big thing, and at the moment we're recording in Kogarah area, but like Hertzville, Kogarah, we can see like such diverse community. The food, look at us munching on.
Having a lot of food.
Yeah.
We've got like Mongolian lamb, salt and pepper squid, fried rice, prawns, bok choy, a couple of dumplings, dim sim. It's a good selection, I think. I watched Miss Universe as a kid.
Yeah.
And they always ask you a question. What question did you get?
There were so many questions.
They asked so many questions.
Because we had to go through like different stages during the competition. to have prelims and used to go like for multiple subtitle judgment, and then you have to like go and talk about different topics, and obviously finale night where top 12, top 6. Yeah,
That's full on.
full on. Yeah. Oh, so sorry. I was there for 3 months for training. No, yeah, it's not funny. It's serious and it's full time. Yeah.
Okay. I don't think people really understand this
No.
whole process. It sounds like you're also running as a candidate for an election, to be honest. So you came back to Australia after you won. So what year was that you won Miss Nepal?
2024.
24?
Yeah.
So you come back to Australia at some point?
No, so what happened was after I won, I was preparing for international pageant.
Okay.
So I went to Japan at the end of 2024.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah, Tokyo.
Yeah.
So went there, was competing with 75 different countries from all around the world.
Wow.
So that was another shock for me.
What was that like?
Yeah,
Because-
that was just full on.
Yeah.
So in a day, I would be changing like 3 to 4 outfits or more.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, it's very daunting.
Did you make friends?
A lot.
Yeah.
I was very much interested in politics when I was growing up. So I was a kid, because even for pageant, you need a lot of knowledge around current affairs. You need to know the societal challenges.
Yeah.
You need to find advocacy for that, you know, that you fit in and then advocate for that.
Yeah.
So there is a lot of that.
Yeah.
So I was always inclined towards that. And I saw your video one day on TikTok. This is before.
so sorry.
No, no, don't. No, I have to tell you this because I think this was before I met you, right? So it still feels surreal to me because I watched that video and it was so empowering and so inspirational. And a lot of the times as a woman of color myself, it's so hard to relate to someone or find someone that I can look up to. The challenges we go through. But when I saw that, I was like, oh my God, she's so inspirational. I don't know if you remember this or not. I think I told you this when I first met you at Diwali event as well. And did you like face any challenges growing up, or were there moments particularly for you? Obviously women and women of color.
It's quite interesting. So, because my background, I actually grew up with my uncle.
Yeah.
Right? And he did everything. He did the cleaning, he took me to school, he was working, and then had all these other families that helped out, take care of, like, who helped raise me. And so I didn't feel like I missed out on anything, but I also was very gendered roles or gendered perspectives was very delayed because I had my uncle doing everything.
Yeah.
And so it was a very interesting construct that I learnt maybe more so when I was like in high school or like end of primary school, like year 6 or something. So I didn't have it hard. I did experience a bit of racism in school, but not really, not enough to a point where it impacted me.
Yeah.
Like fast forward to like today as an elected official, like everyone's very quick to make judgments, pick out the gender thing, make racial comments constantly.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't bother me, but it also does bother me because people are not being responsible with what they're saying, right? And I think social media has played a role around giving people the green light that they can just say shit or smack about someone with no repercussions.
Yeah.
And so that is also now, I haven't had to deal with it like face to face. I feel like people are very quick to do that stuff online, but I haven't had to deal with it too much face to face. Occasionally here and there, but nothing that becomes too serious. But yeah, it's been, you can still pick up on it. Like people think that you're there because you're brown, or you're a woman. And so yeah, it is there in politics, not in I don't feel it in my own party, but I can see it from other people, right? Yeah, it's sad, but also I think it's changing.
Yeah.
Like we've got now a Labor government that has like over 50% women, and it's so diverse. It's very much looks like a reflection of Australia.
Yep.
Which I think is wonderful. I think it's also really reflective of what kind of policies we're putting forward. We're focusing a lot on women's health as well, and in significant investment in that space. And we have people who are able to speak on that legislation, on those reforms in Parliament, so it's quite empowering.
Yeah.
One thing my uncle did raise me is about respect. You know, you're talking about that culture in the pageant world.
Yeah.
Respect is something people are missing in the conversations when you're differing on views, on policies, or just differing of any views. We've lost the art of being okay that we're different.
Yeah, just going back to what you said about like whilst everyone's on social media and everyone has that open, space where they can judge immediately, but at the end of the day, we're only humans.
Yeah.
And like, I know we try to be so strong because we're out there, we're always in the community. We meet so many different people, and our energy has to always be on top.
Yeah.
But then sometimes I think we should not forget to have that respect, kindness towards one another.
Yeah.
And have love, because I think this generation, we are going through the most toughest times, I would like to say, at least someone who is in their 20s and going through this inflation, a whole lot of other things that I can yap about for like 24 hours non-stop. So I think we should have that respect and kindness towards each other.
Okay, this is going to be extra serious now because of your background in nursing. So I worked as a union lawyer at the Nurses and Midwives Association.
Oh, did you? I didn't know this.
My time there was a couple of years that I worked there, and so I worked in the construction sector as a lawyer there, and then going into health. It's quite interesting, the challenges, very bespoke to the nursing sector. So workforce was a huge issue, like the number of staffing. I think you were talking about doing long hours, double shifts and all that kind of stuff. That was a big issue. And also, particularly around staffing and burnout and having a fair wage was definitely something that I was working through when I was working at the union. It sounds like nothing's really changed, or has it? Like if you think about your journey in your profession as a nurse, would it be still the same, or is it different?
Since I've started, to be honest, there is nothing that I can really say in terms of change, at least in my area that I'm working in. So still tough, still challenging. The fight's still on, but to be honest, realistically, still so hard. And I've seen so many of my friends walk out of nursing, changing their careers and going to retail, and all that HECS debt, still paying that off, but when you're not working as a nurse but as a retail worker and getting like a lot less wage.
What do you think is the solution around that? Is there like a structural issue, or do you think it's very like limited to the workplace, or a bit of both?
I feel a bit of both, but I feel like there should be a lot of it's definitely workforce issue that we are going through. If we had more nurses, but like having said that, giving more subsidy for people wanting to pursue nursing, that would be very beneficial. And someone that are already in the workforce and have been working for many years, like making sure we're not losing them.
Yeah.
Right? By giving them incentives, offers,
Yeah.
trying to keep them, but not like if they're overworking, if they're burnt out,
Yeah.
they'll quit
Yeah.
sooner or later.
Yeah.
So
Do you do any prac placement?
yeah, 800 hours of unpaid placement.
Unpaid. Well, did you know the Labor government introduced legislation to have paid prac for nursing, social workers, I think like teachers as well.
Yeah.
I think that's something that came up. I remember when I was working at Sydney Uni, the paid prac component
Yeah.
was super difficult when you're trying to pay your rent, pay some bills,
Yep.
just have a normal life. It's a big call for someone to do that many hours without any remuneration. So
I started nursing like 7-8 years ago.
Yeah.
But imagine now, how can one survive
yes,
going for an unpaid placement?
yeah. Actually, last week I spoke on legislation.
Yeah.
Love to get your view on it. It's probably too late now because I've already spoken on it. So we introduced legislation for specific nurses to be able to prescribe PBS medication.
Yep.
What do you think of that?
Look, even in my case, because if you work in certain area for like, there is given years that you've worked in that area, and then
Yeah.
if you have masters, postgrad in that area,
Yeah.
then you can be a nurse practitioner where you can prescribe medication.
Yeah.
Looking at the nature of also GPs and the shortages around that, having that authority will make a lot of ease towards quality of care and healthcare overall. So that is also something, because I told you earlier that I was doing my master's
Yeah.
in mental health nursing. So for me, down the road, that could be another pathway
Yeah.
to navigate if I want to like
Yeah.
continue mental health nursing.
Yeah, nice.
So
Yeah.
I think that's great.
Yeah. I know we sort of spoke about, being brown women in certain industries and those kind of experiences, but I feel like we find a way to still embrace it.
Yeah.
And I think that's important for other people to see. So what's that been like for you?
So I've always, personally speaking, I've always been someone that is like adapt to changes.
Yeah.
So for me, even moving to Australia, it was a big journey,
Yeah.
but I was young and I quickly adapted the culture and yet embracing my Nepalese heritage and my culture. We have a massive and growing Nepali community in Australia, and I take a lot of pride in being Nepalese Australian.
Yeah.
So for me, it's always about what values we bring to Australia and how we embrace each other, how diversified we are, and there is so much to learn from each other, from the culture, from the values, the morals that we bring to this country, and we work together to build one great country.
Yeah.
So for me, being Nepalese Australian has always taught me deeper values, because I started working since I moved to Australia. So my first job experience was in Australia. So my best friends, my friends that I have are Australians, you know, and we share our culture. Like we talk about life. And so like there are different stages that I went through for the last 8-9 years of me living here. That has been very wholesome, and I feel very proud to call Australia home. It has always been a journey for me, because when I went to Nepal, like I was like, oh, I think I miss Australia. Like I felt like foreigner back home.
Okay, can I touch on that?
Yeah.
So that is very common for ethnics in Australia.
Yeah.
Going back to like their home country, and the rejection or the perception of someone who's coming from Australia, regardless of being, whether you're Sri Lankan or Nepalese or whatever, you're almost like an outsider there as well.
Yeah, I have so much to add on that, because I take it very, very deeply, and I don't think it's like you have to go through it to understand what it feels like, kind of thing. Because for me, it's like I would never be accepted in any of the countries.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Where you belong.
Yeah, it's like always have that kind of, I'm not fully Australian, because for Australian, like I'm like, oh, no, you're not Australian, you're brown. Like you moved to Australia, you're an immigrant, you know, we have that whole thing. And going back home where I was born and raised and lived certain years of my life, and then to them, I'm like a foreigner. Like, you're not fully Nepali because the way you speak, the way you know, the way you are, and you live there. So it's always going to be navigating that and learning to love myself despite of how people treat me or what people think of me.
That's right.
Because I feel like a lot of the times people like me, immigrants, have these issues, or you know, international citizens will go through this and they can relate to this. And sometimes home is, at least in my case, home is where I have people, family that I love. It doesn't have to be a particular country or a place. For me, Sydney is home right now. I can't think of any other place at the moment, right? When I go to Nepal, Nepal is home to me. But then I'll always have like soft cone of Australia. I'm like, oh, I miss home, you know? And then when I'm in Australia, oh, I think I miss Nepal, like I want to go back. So it's always going to be like that. Also being a global citizen, we are like traveling, and I think we should be okay to like travel and be open to learn and exchange cultures.
I think that's also for people who haven't experienced or had the opportunity to travel, can be living in a bit of a bubble. And that's where I think where we see the rise of concerns around arguments of mass immigration and all that kind of stuff. I think there is a lack of understanding. I mean, it's quick to say commentary around them being ignorant. And maybe there is a veil of that, but I think it's also a lack of experience or understanding to make them think a little bit beyond than the bubble that they're in. I mean, some people might not agree with me on that, but I think that's the reality.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's all about the hard work, values, and everything that we bring for this country. So,
yeah, that got very deep.
Deep.
I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions.
Sure.
And just answer it, whatever comes to your mind.
Okay, sure.
You ready?
Yeah.
All right. What's your average step count during a shift?
Over 10K. I always hit over 10K.
I feel like that's the same in being in Parliament House.
Oh, really?
I walk that much in Parliament House, minimum 10K. Okay.
Right.
What mantra are you telling yourself for 2026?
To meet the love of my life. Please, 2026, bring it on.
Love it. If you could design your own fun scrub, what would that look like?
So I was wearing a scrub today, a top, because that had a little heart sign with love and earth, and like that pattern all around my scrub. So something fun, and I love bright colors, and I also work in mental health, so something bright with like meaningful prints on it.
Yeah, love it. One word your friends would describe you.
Dramatic. They're literally like, I like Karuna, what again? So I'll be like, okay, Emma, this guy. No, dramatic.
What's your coffee order and how many per shift?
The thing with my coffee is I need campus coffee.
Campus?
Yeah.
That's very specific.
Yeah.
Why?
Because I love them. Like any sponsors, like anyone watching, campus, please. Okay.
I drank a lot of campus coffee at Sydney Uni because they basically did all the coffee there.
Yeah, so my coffee order is, oh my God, thank you so much for asking because I love my coffee.
Yeah.
Like to the point where before going to bed for tomorrow's shift, I'm like, oh my God, tomorrow morning I get to wake up to my coffee. So my order is, used to be, one small latte with honey on it. But now I had a bit of a very not very pleasant experience with one of the cafe owners at
Yeah.
my previous
Yeah.
residence. So I was like, maybe I'll have to switch and go back to sugar because I think it's hassle for coffee makers to mix honey. I don't know because she was rude. So I thought, so now my order is
Yeah.
small latte with 1 sugar.
Yeah.
And that's like every morning before I start my shift. The cafe opens up at 7 o'clock.
Right.
So I start my shift at 7 o'clock, which is like 5 minutes away from workplace.
Yeah.
So if I get there at 6:55, they will make me my order without me having to tell. So,
so good.
like my order will be ready. Oh my God, I have so much
good.
love for my coffee.
I
Thank you
love
for this
coffee.
question.
Well, I love coffee too. So I'm an almond flat white chick.
Yeah.
No sugar.
No sugar?
no
Okay.
sugar.
I
But
know.
I have friends who ask for honey in their coffee.
Yeah.
You're not alone.
Okay, thank you.
That's just bad service at that cafe.
Yeah.
What's your favourite part of a pageant?
It gives you a platform where you can advocate for things that you're very passionate about.
Yeah.
It's a platform where you have a larger audience and you can actually make an impact if you use it the right way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Who checks on you when you're checking on everyone else?
Myself, firstly, but my family, like my siblings to be precise, and my best friends. No, I'm so nervous. No.
I'm not nervous. The sound of the paper in the cookie is like giving me. Oh, all right.
Oh my God. This is so
Is that-
unreal.
I've got some lotto numbers. All right, you go first.
You'll always get what you want through your charm and personality.
That's totally like amazing. That is totally applicable to you.
So true.
Keep waiting for the right moment. I'm not gonna eat it. I might just have a bit
A little bit.
because I don't want to be cursed. Since it's the day of love, I've been married for a while, like 8 years. And it's been amazing. Tell me about yourself, Karuna.
You really want to know?
You have. It's all coming out.
I'm genuinely speaking, I want my husband to come meet me because I'm sick and tired of waiting. Please, try and rush this. Just fly and come to me. Thank you.